Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 11, and this is the One Piece versus 4K podcast, where we compare the One Piece 4Kids anime to the Funimation dub, sub, and throw in comparisons to the manga. Like I said, we are back for episode 11. I'm Ben,
I'm Rom.
and yeah, we are back. So what's been going on with you this week?
So actually, a quick thing on the One Piece like regular. So this weekend was like a good weekend because we actually got an episode of the current arc, and we also got a chapter of the current arc, and so it was a good weekend of like new One Piece stuff. Like the episode was good. Like the amount of stuff. Like one of the things people always kind of complain about is like the pacing of One Piece. But honestly, like I thought this week's episode, I thought they had like a ton of like solid content to kind of like take in and kind of like chew in and stuff. So like for the people who don't read the manga who just watch the anime, I thought this week's episode was really good. It's not one of those episodes where it's like three lines of dialogue and a lot of stares. This was actually a pretty solid episode. And the new chapter was amazing. And the way the chapter ended, it was actually really cool. With the huge reveal at the end of the chapter. So yeah, this past weekend was like a good weekend for like One Piece like content. Like it was really good. But unfortunately, well, so I think the anime is not on hiatus next week. I think they'll kind of continue next week, but the manga is on hiatus next week. But it was kind of expected, though. I mean, while this is all happening, this is just something that we just have to kind of like, live with. So it's just, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was pretty good. On a personal front, like, yeah, I got to I'm almost like so I've been like trying to get better and better at this this pasta or spaghetti recipe. It's like spaghetti aglio e olio. It's like spaghetti, garlic and olive oil, and I've been getting better at like getting close to like what I think it should be. So yeah, I made it today. It turned out pretty well. Yeah, my parents seem to like it. Like the garlic. So before, when I tried the recipe before, like the garlic taste wasn't always there because I would chop too few, like I would put in too few garlics. So then to actually get the garlic taste, I would have to like actually like take in a piece of garlic in the bite to actually get the garlic taste.
Yeah.
And this time around, I added like a ton of garlic. I don't like the thing is like I didn't know if I had the garlic in the bite or not because like I just couldn't see it, but I could actually like taste the garlic. Even if like the pasta, like even if like the spoonful or the forkful that I ate at that time, even if there wasn't any garlic in it, the taste was there. It was like really good. So I think I'm getting better at that recipe. So I'm almost there. I'm almost there
Let,
with it.
let's just hope you remembered how much garlic you put in.
Dude, okay, so I think I put in like 4 to 5. Like I think
Four to
that's the
five
pretty much.
cloves.
Yeah, 4 to 5
Yeah.
cloves. Basically, you gotta like cut the garlic like paper. I mean, if you can get it paper thin, that would be great. I don't get it paper thin. I get a little stocky, but little stocky is also fine too. But
Hmm.
yeah, you just gotta get it like paper thin, and then I usually like cook the. I know people usually put the parsley kind of like they kind of put parsley at the end as like a once they take it out of the stove and stuff. But I kind of cooked it with the parsley a little bit, and it looked nice. Like the look of it is similar to what I usually see in those YouTube videos. Um, I think the taste is almost there. I think the taste is almost to what I want it to be. I mean, my
So
parents
you're
really
saying
liked
that
it.
the taste is almost there, how it is in the YouTube videos.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, I can just yeah. But I do feel like there's like a lot of area for improvement on my end on the recipe, so it's almost there. I can just feel it.
That's good.
Um, Yeah,
That's
but Solar
actually
was.
funny that you mentioned that. I was actually thinking of that earlier today. I guess you had mentioned it last time. I don't think we talked about it on the podcast, but before. Um, and we're making a shopping list right now, so maybe I'll just add that stuff too and try to make it.
Yeah, so okay, so one thing I do want to point out is get Italian flat leaf parsley. So that was a mistake I made previous times, was that I would get like these I don't know if it's like little parsley like flowers or whatever. It's like these tiny little parsley flowers. But and I mean it's whatever, but you gotta try to get the flat leaf parsley, the one where it actually looks like something you can chop and mince and stuff. So definitely go for. I think if you look for Italian parsley at the store at the grocery store, you'd be able to find it too. But yeah, flat leaf. That
Okay.
is yeah, that is thing. So yeah, you have like crushed red, like crushed red peppers, right? Red chili peppers.
No, I'll have to get that as well.
Yeah, it's basically like the
Yeah, the
red
kind you
pepper
get with the
flakes.
pizza, right? Yeah,
Yep. Yeah. 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 I usually put. I mean,
and then you
apparently,
say
like the
lemon as well,
original.
garlic and then lemon.
Yeah. So typically, I think like lemon isn't part of it, but I like putting it. Like I think
Yeah,
the
I would
video I
do that
saw.
too.
Yeah. Like when I
Oh, and
saw
then
like I
olive
saw
oil,
the.
obviously.
Yeah. 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 I binging with Babish. This was actually one of his first episodes. That he makes this dish, and he puts a squeeze of like a lemon in it. So I think lemon's like a good addition to it. It was really good.
Yeah, I like lemon. We'll probably just put it on the side and squeeze some in before we eat. Uh,
Yeah.
well, I'm gonna get on off on a whole tangent. Some my wife doesn't really like her pasta lemony, but I do. So
Okay,
yeah,
okay, okay,
that way
okay.
it'll be good for both of us.
Yeah. How about you? How's everything going with you?
Good. Didn't do much. I was happy to have Friday off. I yeah, I didn't do much at all. Played n- I played some more of the Borderlands game that we haven't beaten.
Hmm.
Um, so I played that. That game has been when we've been playing it, it's been a pain because these games always starts out off where you have like really crappy weapons and you just have to
Hmm.
you find weapons randomly just by killing enemies or finding them randomly like on the ground and stuff.
Hmm.
And it's just random, like, never know if you're gonna get a good weapon or not, so both me and my wife had, like, terrible, weapons, and it was just such a chore to play the game, trying to shoot people, like, with weapons that we hate, so I think we finally both got some decent weapons, and we started to have, a lot more fun, so,
Okay, okay.
yeah, played a bunch of that this weekend, and then I watched, that have you heard of that Lego Master show?
I think I might have like just randomly heard about it, and like I feel like I definitely
Yeah.
heard about it, but I'm not really sure where it is.
Oh, there's a, Lego building, like, competition building show that we watched. There was only 12 episodes, I think 12,
Oh, the
maybe
Joel
even
McHale show, right?
no, no, uh, man, it's the guy who played, Lego Batman.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Why did I confuse him with him? Yeah, Will Arnett.
Yes, Will Arnett. Yeah, I couldn't
Yeah, yeah,
remember.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good show. It wasn't that long at all. We just watched the entire thing. We watched some on Saturday night and then finished the rest yesterday.
How many episodes are there?
Maybe 10. At 10, I think, maybe a little bit less. So,
How long are each episodes?
like 45 minutes.
Okay, 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 okay. Uh,
Yeah.
oh, well, yeah, that's decently long. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to think. Like, you remember that show Daredevil?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess it was as long as that.
Yeah, dude. So wait, so you've watched Daredevil, right?
No, dude, I never finished it. I only finished think I how many there's 3 seasons. How many seasons were there total?
I
3,
think there were
right?
three. I think there were three. I
Yeah, I
definitely
only
watched
watched the
season one.
first 2.
Yeah, same.
I never finished that. I only watched the first season of Luke Cage. Um and then I watched the first season of Jessica Jones. That's it. I still need to
Okay,
get
okay,
caught
okay.
up on so much. It's just like I go through periods where I'm not in the mood to watch a show. But what's funny is like I'll be like halfway through a season and then just get like in a mood where I don't feel like continue watching it. Uh, and then I'll just pick up later. I think we're like halfway through a season of Flash.
Oh, the current season of Flash.
No, not the current. Like the last. I think the second to last one. I don't know.
Okay, 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 okay. Dude,
Yeah,
yeah, like I have this like bad habit of like not watching the final seasons. Like yeah, same with you. Like I watched the first two seasons of Daredevil, and I haven't watched the third season of Daredevil yet. It's like same thing with Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. I would like watch, and then like so part of the reason I was kind of referencing that is because like I kind of remember like back when I was like watching like really got obsessed with those shows. Like as soon as the new season would drop, and they would drop all 13 episodes at once, I would pretty much like finish it in like a weekend, like maybe in like 2 days, because I would just watch it continuously from
yeah,
like start to end.
yeah. Those shows are really, really notorious at having, like cliffhangers at the end of every episode too, like crazy
Yeah.
stuff, and it's just like, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, same thing like with the House of Cards. Like House of Cards also is like another show I haven't watched the final season with, but like it's just something I just haven't watched yet. I
Kevin
mean,
Spacey even in the final season of House of Cards.
no, 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 he's not in that season. Like it's not necessarily that I didn't watch it because he wasn't in there. It's
No,
just
I
I
know,
think
but
yeah,
I'm just
yeah, yeah.
I but at the same time, like, it's so that's so weird. Like, obviously, we know what happened, but still,
Yeah.
that's weird for this show is mainly about him, right? That's weird
Yeah,
for
yeah,
them to
yeah.
finish
His
off a show without him.
yeah, it's yeah. It's like yeah, his kind of like climb up from where he is to like all this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
And like yeah, like I think the last thing I saw was that he just like resigned, and then like I think that kind of led into the final season, but then obviously everything went down, and then I don't know. It's not necessarily that I didn't watch it because he wasn't on it. I just it's just one of those things where it's not even just that show. It's like a bunch of shows where like it might also be because I just lose interest in Netflix from time to time, but
yeah,
I've seen like episodes of the final season from time to time. I just haven't watched it all in like the full chronological bulk yet. I will eventually, but because like that final season, oh man, the stuff that happens in the final season, I really want to actually watch that final season because man, people start going down like flies that final season.
oh, wow. Yeah, never watched a single episode. I'm not big on cards. I'm just kidding. I know it has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
man. Like
yeah.
it's pretty intense show. But yeah, wait, so you're on the mid of Flash of last season?
Dude, I can't even tell you what season I'm in. Like, I don't know. No, I don't think it's last season. I think it's the season before last because this season like ended like halfway through because of everything that was going on. They had to like abruptly end the season. So it wasn't this
Oh,
season and it wasn't the last season. It was the season before that. So
yeah,
I
man,
think
like same thing. Like I haven't watched Flash since Crisis ended.
yeah, dude,
Also
I
needs to get
didn't even I don't think I got there yet.
yeah, okay, okay, okay,
So
okay.
yeah, I just need to
Yeah.
catch up. Uh, and yeah.
So well, so since I haven't really watched, I kind of watched a few episodes. Like how early on we said that we would have preferred that like DC TV shows they have like maybe rather than try to stretch out one villain for the entire season, maybe have one villain on the first half and one villain on the second
Yeah.
half.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know if I should tell you.
Will they do that?
Yeah, just because of Crisis, like they do that.
Oh, well, that's not bad. That's more enjoyable to me. But also,
Yeah.
I feel like those shows would be way more enjoyable if they were 13 episodes.
Yeah, yeah. It's just yeah, they really it's this weird thing of they try to stretch out some parts and then certain parts that should last longer, they like really compress
Yeah.
like for instance, like back in season 3 of Arrow when Oliver like, officially joins the League of Assassins. I kind of wish they kind of like took that into the following season, season 4, but like they compressed it down and they like shrunk it down to just like a couple of episodes of him just being like a spy in there. And so I'm just like, they could have really stretched, they could have really like done a good job of like taking that into the next season stuff. But man, they kind of rushed it and then it was just, it's whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
I guess we'll get into this episode.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, so we're back today for episode 11. Mine was called The War at the Shore.
Mhm.
What was yours called?
So I will actually say the names, because well, it's because of what happened, because of
Yeah.
like how like the last episode, it kind of combined the end of one half and the like the entire episode of one episode and then like part of the next episode.
Hmm.
I kind of watched multiple episodes, um, so just in case this happens again, like where like, and I'm sure it's going to happen again because it did cut into it a huge part of that last episode. So I watched two episodes. I watched episode 11 and episode 12, um, just in case. But so the title of episode 11 um, is uh, one second. I had it just with me. Okay. Yeah, the title of the episode 11 is Expose the Plot, Pirate Butler Captain Kuro. And the title of episode 12 is Clash with the Black Cat Pirates, The Great Battle on the Slope.
Got it. Okay.
Yep. All right. So go ahead.
Yeah. So the episode. So yeah, I think I'm really curious about the censorship in this episode because
Hmm.
it seems like from just watching it that there was a lot of stuff that was censored. And yeah,
Okay.
we feel free to stop me. I'll stop at parts I think that are censored too. We can go into it. Um,
Yep.
so the episode opens with Luffy on the ground. Uh, you hear him snoring as Zolo hits uh, him with the butt of his sword. Luffy wakes up and says, "Good morning." Um, is that how the episode starts on your end? Is he snoring?
Well, so the episode starts with Usopp running
Oh yeah,
straight
yeah,
to the
yeah, yeah,
village. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
but
yeah.
when you get to this part,
Yeah, he is actually snoring.
okay,
He is snoring, and Zoro like yeah taps him on the head, saying, "Hey, get up, good morning," or something like that. Yeah.
got it. Okay, got it. Just wanted to make sure they didn't add in the snoring noises,
Oh yeah, no,
like
he
he
was.
was like trying to hide that he was fainted. Uh,
Oh no, no.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, so so then it cuts to Usopp looking into Kaya's window as he throws a rock at it. Usopp is seen in the tree and tells Kaya that she must hurry up and leave as she's been duped and that the butler is actually a pirate. Kaya asks if it's a joke. Usopp says, of course not. He tells her that uh, he's after his the butler is after her fortune and that he's got the pirate crew ready to attack and strike at dawn. Kaya says she shouldn't Kaya says that he shouldn't make up lies because Cladador talked about his father. We then see Zolo. It cuts back to Zolo asking Luffy if it's true what Usopp had said, and Luffy confirms it is true. Zolo asks what he was doing to snapping when Luffy says, "I don't know. I thought it was on top of the cliff." Uh, so he just basically, confirms that he totally was caught off guard and fell down, and I guess then just fell asleep. Um, the veggie kids then say they had a feeling the butler and the hypnotist was bad, and they run to tell the other villagers. Luffy then says, "Oh no, what's gonna happen if the village gets destroyed and the hotel goes away? How will we get food?" Um, we then cut back to Kaya and Usopp, and um, she's asking him again why he's lying, and then she nearly faints. Usopp uh, tells her to get back in bed, and then the sheep-looking guy, Mary, bursts in with a gun. In this case, this gun contains like an orange cap on the end, like to signify that it's a toy gun in ways.
Okay.
Asking if Usopp has harmed her. Usopp then grabs Kaya, and this is the weird part that makes no sense. So he grabs Kaya and
Mhm.
falls back through the window. As
Mm.
at the same time, we see Mary aiming his gun, but then Usopp just lands on the ground, saying to Kaya that she's got to believe him.
Mm.
So, in the case of your episode, do you actually see bullets come out of the gun?
So basically, like what happens is that yeah, we do actually see a gun. There's no orange tip at the yeah, that doesn't signify a toy gun. They do show like an actual gun, and he actually shoots Usopp with it. Kaya just says no, try to like she tries to get in front of him and stuff, but the shot hits, and he just starts. So yeah, he actually does get shot in this um, chapter. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, but the scene of it's just weird that he's like he's like it's weird because he's like you hear the gunshot but you don't see him getting shot, and then he just like falls
Mm.
back through the window. But it's weird because he's falling backwards. Like why would he jump out the window backwards? But that's what it tries to make it seem like, since you can't see like a bullet coming at him or whatever.
Wait, so in your episode, he actually tells Kaya to go back to bed.
He does at first. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Well, okay. I guess like I'll kind of say some of the stuff after you say tell this full episode.
Okay, yeah. So, I'm gonna ask you some more questions in a second, though.
Yeah, sure.
So then, so yeah, so all of a sudden, when he's on the ground, uh, saying that she's got to believe him, we see three security dudes shoot at Usopp. I mean, we know that they're shooting at him because we hear the noise.
Mm.
Um, and he takes them out with a slingshot. Usopp grabs Kaya again and says, "Come on, let's go." And tells her, "You'll know it's true tomorrow," as she says no and tells him to leave. Mary shows up again, points his gun and fires at Usopp. And this part's really weird. It's like some really weird editing. It almost looks like Kaya tries to block the shot, but then we see Usopp laying on the ground before getting back up and running off.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So,
This was actually the scene that I was actually kind of describing
yeah,
earlier.
that's what I
So
was a
this is the
little bit
first time.
confused.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is actually the shot where they shot him. Like, yeah, like
But
earlier.
he doesn't shoot them when he jumps out the window?
No, 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 no. He just tries to escape. So actually, in that scene, so Usopp in the regular, he's just trying to get Kaya to kind of like run away. Like, he doesn't necessarily tell her to like go back to bed. He actually says, "Hey, we gotta go. We gotta go. Come with me. You gotta leave." He's like a bad guy and stuff. So he actually, yeah, he never tells her to go back to bed or something. He does try to, take her. He does try to like take her out and like
No,
not
so
take her out, but like he actually does forcibly try to take her outside to run away and stuff. But yeah.
yeah, so that's what happened. I mean, he's telling her to go back to bed before the sheep dude bursts in.
Oh yeah, no.
So
And
he's about to
in this
faint,
one,
and then
yeah,
okay, yeah, okay. So that yeah, but it's just weird because you hear like a gunshot, or like you see him point the gun, and like
yeah.
almost hear like the gun being shot, and then all of a sudden he like falls out through the window backwards. I don't know.
Oh
It's
yeah,
really
no.
weirdly like edited or shot. So yeah. Um
Yeah, I don't think he shot the gun at that scene. But like the
okay.
scene where you do see Kaya try to like block him,
Yeah,
yeah, he does actually shoot him in that scene. Yeah.
got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Um but either way he's hurt from jumping out the window. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, so he gets up and runs off. Let's see. I'm totally totally lost here in my notes. Uh
He's jogging towards the kids and Luffy after this.
yeah. Yes, so yeah. He's yeah, okay. So yeah. So the yeah, so as this is happening, as he's running off, the village folk then show up as Mary says to them to tells them to go after him, and he's running, and next it cuts back to Claudador and his crew, the Black Cats, and he's telling them, that they're going to destroy the town at dawn. We then see Usopp run into the Veggie Kids and Luffy as they tell him they want to warn everyone about the pirates. Usopp can't believe Luffy is alive and just laughs and tells the kids that he made all of that up so he could get back at the butler. The kids then walk off pissed that Usopp had lied to them, uh, quote unquote, lied to them. Next
Mm.
scene, we see Nami bandaging Usopp back at the bluff, and they ask him why he lied to the veggies, and he says no one would believe him anyways. As Nami says, but the pirates are still coming. Usopp then says he needs to attack the pirates and save the village that he loves. Uh, Solo realizes that he had just told them a lie because he's worried for their safety. Then Luffy and the team agree to join him since he's outnumbered. Uh, then there's like a kind of cheesy scene here where I imagine this is probably going to be something that's brought up over and over again. But Zolo then says he slices, Luffy says he stretches, Nami says she steals, and then Usopp says he hides, and they tell him, no way you're gonna help him fight, and he, kind of just tries to save himself by saying he was just joking.
Yeah, so far, yeah. Uh Pretty much that scene is similar to that. There is this one little manga tie-in I want to say. So I don't know if I didn't see that panel, but actually didn't see a panel where Nami actually like covers his wound or like yeah, tapes up its wound or stitch or something. I didn't actually see it in the manga, so yeah, that one scene. Actually, also like the scene where Zoro finds Luffy and like he taps him with the sword. That's also something that wasn't in the manga. That was just I guess these are like very kind of minor things that like they kind of just put in to kind of like say that all right, he actually did get treated or something. So
Hmm.
yeah, um, yeah.
Yeah. So then we see Cladador show up to the mansion as Mary says he can't believe that Usopp had accused him of being a pirate. Then he sees Kaya's gift and says, "Oh, that's sweet, but it's not going to be as good as the gift I've gotten for her." And he mentions that it's a crescent moon and it always brings out the beast in him. As he throws the glasses and the case to the floor, stomps on them, and breaks them. Then you see him run towards Mary with his claws drawn, and I guess it's pretty much assumed that he kills him. because we don't see him again.
So, when you say claws drawn, are those claws like blades,
No,
or like are they like
he's got like
claws?
claws coming out of his hand, like Freddy Krueger or Wolverine.
Okay, I mean, okay. So it is like you do actually see like I mean, it is part of
Yeah,
his hand, but it's like knives.
yeah,
Okay, or swords, I guess. Okay, yeah. Um, as far as like when he attacks Mary, so in the regular, he slices him, and then you see like him getting sliced up and blood coming out and stuff. So yeah, in here it also is generally assumed that he killed Mary too.
got it. Yeah, yeah. You just don't see any of the gore. You can just assume that he's dead in the four
Okay.
kids. So then he shows up to Kaya's bedside with the claws drawn, and then it's weird because he it seems as though the claws are coming out of his like fingertips. Um,
Mm.
but then somehow he forms them into like a singular sword and then walks off.
So really quick, like, is it like is he wearing? Is his hands like black?
Yeah.
Okay. I think he's just wearing like a customized glove knife thing. Because I mean, in the anime, it's pretty clear that he has like a customized glove knife thing that he
Okay.
puts on. So I think that's what it is.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. But it's just weird. I guess it's like the angle that it's showing because it looks like it transformed into a sword.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, so then next scene we see. So yeah, after he does that, he just walks off. He doesn't kill her. Next scene we see a crew member telling Django to wake up and that dawn is approaching, and then Django is like pissed because it's not quite yet dawn. And anyways, they decide to go ahead and start setting sail for the village. Usopp sets up some oil in the pathway where he says that the pirates are going to be coming from, saying that they will slip and fall when they run through. Luffy mentions that it's such a slick plan, a pun on the oil. Nami says it's kind of dumb that they might slide into it themselves. Dawn starts to approach as the pirate crew prepares. We then see their ship in full. It has like a giant cat on the front of it, and it's approaching the land. One of the crew members realizes there's already two small ships there. Django tells him to go check it out while everyone else prepares for the attack. Nami realizes that the pirates are coming from a different direction as she hears them. She says she, hears them making pirate noises, uh,
Mm.
and she notices that they're coming from the other direction where their ships are from, and she starts to have a meltdown, saying all the treasure is going to be stolen. Uh, and then Luffy runs off towards the ship. Zolo then says that they have a battle to fight as Nami trips and pulls Zolo into the oil, and then she like kind of uses him as a bridge to hop over and runs towards the direction Luffy's headed in to go get the treasure. Uh, Usopp gets there too, starts attacking them with his slingshot. Says he has 10 million men. The crew member who boarded the ship comes out and says it was loaded with 4 or 5 million berries. As Usopp then says, "Oh, if you guys want, you can just keep the money and leave us alone." Django says, "No way, they don't. They're the ones who make demands," and starts to hypnotize Usopp. But Nami shows up just in time, hits Usopp over the head before he finishes the hypnosis. Usopp is kind of pissed at Nami, but then she points out that she saved him and no one's going to steal her treasure. Usopp then tells Nami to take lead and that he will back her up. Nami says, "No way," and they begin to argue. Django says, "I don't have time for your foolishness," and orders them to charge as Usopp realizes he has these like barbs, spike things, and they toss them into the air, to hit the ground in front of them. Zolo picks himself up in the next scene over the oil with his sword, like uses both of his swords, and then heads towards the battle as we see Luffy saying if he keeps running north, he'll hit the North Pole. And all of a sudden, he just runs into the side of a mountain. We see that the barbs had hurt some of the pirates and stopped them in their tracks as Usopp starts hitting them with his slingshot one by one. Nami tells him he's doing great and she's going to go off as she realizes the barbs are actually behind her as well. Usopp points out that those are the ones that she had thrown. Uh, the pirates begin to rush as they say the barbs won't hold them off that long, and they trample Usopp as we see them. Next, next thing you know, they start flying into the air defeated as Zolo and Luffy show up. Next, we see Cloudador saying the fools are late and they better not ruin. So yeah, next scene it's cutting back to Cloudador at the mansion saying the fools are late and they better not ruin his plan. And if so, they will all pay with their lives. We then see one of the veggies, I think it might be Onion, uh, watching out like from behind a pole, noticing that the butler is headed for the shore. And that's where the episode ends.
Okay, cool. So yeah, it actually does cover episode 11 and 12. Um,
One episode?
yeah, that episode covers both 11 and 12. Yeah.
Wow, they must have cut off a whole lot.
Yeah, I think they cut off some of the inner dialogue, and I guess they cut out some of the part that stretches a lot. Um, but I think, like, I don't, maybe like back when Four Kids came, it actually came in seasons rather than weekly, and that might be the reason why it's like so paced well. Because like that was actually like an issue that like I think I kind of mentioned this earlier, and also before about how like. Uh, a section of manga fans who also watch the anime, they have like problems with pacing because they think certain scenes are like stretched out too much and stuff. But
So they
um,
might have been trying to tackle that as well as the censorship.
yeah, but like I mean, the pacing is what it is because like even if since Four Kids, I think the Four Kids started in 2003 or four, something like that. If they went at the pace that they are going at that they were going at eventually like it would have been a situation where they would have to like stop for a while. Like if the regular anime did it in seasons, I think they would. I think with the pacing that they would do, maybe there's a chance they would have had to. I mean, I think the pacing is where it is. I mean, I've kind of accepted the pacing for what it is, so that's fine. Plus, also by the time the anime started, I think the manga has been going for like possibly a year and a half, something like that. So
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, yeah. So I guess some differences. Oh, one question I wanted to ask you. So when Claudor was in her bedroom, with the blades over her, like, do you see blood in the blades?
Mm-mm.
Oh, so it's clean. So like yeah, in mine you actually like see like bloodlines like all over the blades and stuff.
Yeah,
So
and I guess it was from him killing Mary, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
basically. And then yeah, that was a bit of censorship part there. Was so the next set of scenes where actually prior to that, the set of scenes where Usopp gets shot and all of that, it's kind of like a little jumbled up. Oh, I forgot to ask you. Is there any scene with you guys where Kaya slaps Usopp?
Mm, no. Well, actually, I think she does at one point. I can't remember when, but she doesn't. She doesn't want to go. When he's trying to pull her away.
Okay, okay. So
Yeah.
do you hear like a slap?
Yeah.
Okay, but you just see like you hear a slap and then you see her hand just like in a
No, I don't think they
direction.
censored that out.
Oh, that's weird. I mean, no, I mean like
You don't see it. I mean, I don't
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah.
remember. Okay, so yeah, she probably just slaps him. Yeah, that's why I didn't even include it then, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, the way that it was in this one is that you hear the slap and then like you see the shot. You just hear the slap, you see the shot, and you see like her hand somewhere else, and he just kind of falling backwards and stuff. In the manga, you actually do see her hand like hitting his face and stuff. So, but in the
Hitting
anime,
Usopp's face.
yeah, as
Yeah,
she
see, but
slaps him.
that's what's so weird here because like you don't you just hear the sound, like it's just so weird. Like the way it's cut,
Hmm.
it's just really weird. Like it seems like she's trying to jump in front of the bullet,
Hmm.
but I guess that's not the case. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. That was kind of a weird thing too. Yeah, dude, it's just something about slaps and animes, man. Like this isn't the first show, and like it's not even this particular thing too. Like, in an arc that takes place like hundreds of episodes in the future, like 800 something episodes in the future, from this arc. There is another scene where one of the characters slaps another character, and like that was the same thing. You just hear her running towards him and then you hear the slap and then you see her hand just kind of like the aftermath, where the hand is like on the other side or something, and you see like the bulges. And it's not even just this show. I think one of the other shows that I watched, I think I mentioned it was the first anime that I ever watched, Rosario Vampire. Like same thing, like she goes and slaps him and like you don't see the actual slap, you just see like her hand go as yeah.
That doesn't really make any sense at all. I wonder why they're censoring that.
Yeah, I'm not really sure either. Maybe they don't want to teach kids how to slap. I'm not really sure.
I mean, I could see them censoring it if it's a guy, but a woman slapping a man is not anything that anyone should be ashamed of.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like, um, we will kind of there's this funny thing that happened. Yeah, yeah. It's just kind of this weird thing where you just don't hear slaps that often. Although you do see men on men slaps though. Like it's
Yeah.
a bit comical slaps. Like not like serious slaps like what Kaya did to Usopp at that scene, but like comical slaps. Like in one arc that's way past what Four Kids covers. They're trying to um, find a name for. They're trying to name this one thing, and like Usopp, Luffy suggests a few names, and then Usopp kind of like comically slaps him on the face or on the. It's not like a hard slap. It's just like he just slaps him, but like Luffy just kind of he doesn't react to it. It's like a friendly kind of just tap, I guess. So those are like fine, but like yeah, I think emotional slaps they like cut it out. It's just a weird kind of thing that they did.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
strange. I'm gonna have to look into why the heck they've done that.
Yeah, but yeah, with regards to this episode, let's see. Oh yeah, I think there's this kind of weird thing. So did Django actually fall for the 10 million soldiers in your dubbed?
Mm-mm.
He
No.
didn't. Oh, okay, okay. So in mine, he actually is like, whoa. And also in the manga too. So Usopp says, "I got 10 million men," and then like Django's like, "What? Really?" He kind of believes him, and then his crew, and then his underlings are like, "Boss, he's clearly lying." Or not that
Oh,
super lying. He's like, oh, so a little bit of comedy right there. Um, and then so yeah, there is that one little comedy bit. Um, and also yeah, so then Usopp, so yeah, basically when they spot the when when the Kuro pirates land, they spot like the ship, they spot Nami's and Luffy's ship, the two little dinky ships, and one of the guys, one of the pirates, point out that there's these two ships on the shore, and then Django actually says, They're just two small little dinky ships. Don't worry about them. We have a bigger thing to focus on. So he doesn't actually tell them to go look into it. He's like, don't worry about it. That's like, we don't.
Wait,
It's
this is
probably
in the
it's too small.
Funimation or in the manga?
This isn't Funimation and the manga.
Weird.
He actually just says, it's not worth our time right now. They're two small ships. They probably don't have treasure in it. We got stuff to do.
But then how do they
Um,
find out that there's treasure in the ships?
I mean, one of the guys just goes and spots it.
So he goes against the captain's direct orders.
I mean, I think it's just one of those things where just a couple of guys got curious and went and like saw.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it was like it wasn't Django's top priority. It wasn't like something he specifically ordered them
Yeah.
to do. It was just like something two guys did and they spotted.
Well, that's really strange. Yeah, I think in this case I'm gonna defend the Four Kids dub and say they did a better job.
Okay. And then let's see what other censorship. So yeah, we did the blood in that. They showed a lot of it's kind of similar. I guess yeah, the gun is the only thing. Like here we don't
So
have like a
so they
fake
do
gun.
so Zolo and Luffy do show up and they just like it doesn't show them attack any of the pirates.
Yeah, so yeah, basically what happens is, uh same thing like so Zoro takes out his swords and uses his swords to climb back up the oil thing. Luffy, oh yeah, I forgot to mention. So the scene where you said that Luffy says if he keeps going north, he'll go to the North Pole. So it's actually a little different in the Funimation dub, and also that he says that like he when he thinks about north, he heads in the direction that's colder. Yeah,
Okay.
so he just starts running like he's like, where is north? I just kept going where it's colder because I figure that's north or something like that. He doesn't say anything about the North Pole. He just like, okay,
Got it.
colder. But yeah, eventually he just starts running, and eventually, like, yeah, he. So basically, oh, do the guys after the attacks are all thrown out? Um, when the guys attack, like, do you see like the guy use like a club with like a huge like little rock mallet thing to smash Usopp, and Usopp fall down, and there's like blood coming out?
No, you just you just see them like it looks like they're trampling him.
Okay, so he doesn't actually like hit Usopp.
I honestly I didn't even like pay. I don't know.
Okay, because like I wouldn't be surprised if that is something that they censored
I mean, but
because
there was no blood, so yeah, if there was blood, it
yeah,
might have just been easier just to show him on the ground, right?
yeah, possibly because like in that scene, so basically right after Nami saves him and tells him, hey, you can't go give out my treasure like that. That's my treasure. Um, then they throw out the tax, and then that kind of does that enough of a trick, and then Nami and Usopp, they both kind of argue on who should attack them, and then as they're doing it, as they're arguing, one of the guys comes behind Usopp and like has a club, and he smashes the club down, and then Usopp like grabs his leg and he says, I don't want you to go into my city or something, and the guy like stomps on him again, and then they all start running into the city. They all start running into the village, and then the next scene is then we just see all these guys flying back, and then we see Luffy and Zoro
Got
come
it.
walking in. Yeah. Um, but yeah, same thing as you. Yeah, we then cut back to Klahadore, and Klahadore says, they're late. He needs to go teach them a lesson or something, and he's gonna go kill all of them or something. And Onion sees that, and that's kind of where the episode ends.
Well, that's really really funny. They like condensed two episodes into one. I feel like the pacing was probably better um, because of that, but they did cut some things. Yeah, and I guess that's just it's really interesting because like some of the earlier episodes I feel like were really fastly paced.
Hmm.
So it's just weird how like all of a sudden it becomes not as fastly paced and they decided to edit two episodes into one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess like some of the manga readers who were like anime fans who hate the pacing, maybe they prefer like how the pacing was with. I'm not really sure. I'm just kind of just riffing, but yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah, I think
interesting.
that, yeah, I think
Uh,
that's it for this episode. Yeah,
yeah. So next week, I'll be back with episode 12. You'll be back with episode 13 and 14, I guess.
yeah, basically, yeah. I'll be back with episode 30 14. Oh, I did forget to mention the chapters that this episode covers in the manga is 27, 28, and 29.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yep, yeah,
All
yep.
right. Well, I guess that's it for today. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we will hear from you next week.
Cool.